As one of the biggest franchises in Marvel Comics, the X-Men have no shortage of amazing and uncanny characters ready to step up and lead at any time. But one such character, Danielle Moonstar aka Mirage of the New Mutants, has never really gotten her shot at true mutant leadership on a grand scale. And with Krakoa's quiet council in disarray, there's never been a better time to elevate the New Mutants' fearless leader to her rightful place within the X-Men. First appearing in Marvel graphic novel number 4, The New Mutants by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod, Donnie has been a fan favorite for decades. While she's long since earned her place in the hearts of readers, her status within the continuity of Marvel Comics rarely reflects her initial promise. But the Kraken experiment is all about growth, rebirth, and realizing one's potential, something that Mirage still has in abundance. Despite this enormous potential, Donnie is a character who had her initial trajectory ultimately sidelined in favor of a new creative vision. Early issues of New Mutants herald her destiny of becoming one of the X-Men's greatest leaders. She is even described as having skills on par with Cyclops in New Mutants number by Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz, when she's said to be the natural leader of the team in any sort of combat situation. Unfortunately, that's not something the fans have seen too often outside of New Mutants. While she leads her friends for the majority of the initial New Mutants series, an adventure in Asgard leaves the home of the gods in shambles, motivating Moonstar, also one of Odin's legendary Valkyrie, to leave the team and stay behind to rebuild in New Mutants number 86 by Louise Simonson and Rob Liefeld. Donnie eventually returns to her fellow New Mutants years later and even leads the New Mutants again on more than one occasion, but her exclusion from the debut of Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza as X-Force essentially sidelined this once promising leader for years. Ultimately, this absence makes narrative sense as Moonstar isn't the type to blindly follow Cable as many of her peers do in the pages of X-Force. Even so, her absence largely killed her own narrative momentum and has left her in a repetitive state of character limbo in the years since. The Kraken era as a whole has seen a rebirth, both literally and figuratively, in the overall history of Marvel Comics mutants, with plenty of decades-old threads finally being picked up once again after countless issues across an untold number of X-Men titles. With classic characters such as the X-Men villain Madeline Pryor making dramatic new moves, including ascending to the throne of Limbo, the New Mutants need a dramatic change of their own. And making Donnie their representative on the Quiet Council would go a long way towards shaking up their status quo, while also fulfilling her initial narrative promise. Hope Summers has recently been appointed to the Quiet Council as the voice of the Five among Krakoa's governing body. But the actual youth of Krakoa still lack proper representation. As one of the Kraken students' most dedicated instructors, Mirage is the logical choice to help lead the burgeoning mutant nation. Calculating but compassionate with a keen strategic mind and a strong sense of justice, Donnie would be a much-needed voice of reason alongside classic X-Men heroes like Storm, Nightcrawler, and Kate Pryde among the increasingly cold council. Mirage may not be the first mutant that comes to mind regarding the future of Krakoa, but she has a lot to offer her new home. And after decades of empty promises, Donnie Moonstar deserves that shot. After all, if she can be trusted to train the next generation of Marvel Comics X-Men, then the New Mutants Mirage is more than capable of taking a seat on Krakoa's Quiet Council.